USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Hey, this is Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast, here to help you make the most of your summer with Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer worth playing for. Play for it with the guys when you're competing to see who can sink more birdies on the golf course, because winning tastes even better with Ultra on the line. Play for Ultra. Fill your fridge with Michelob Ultra this summer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and zero cooking. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite food delivered straight to you. Get Burger King, Subway, Popeyes, and hundreds more local favorites and savor every last bite. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Hello, and welcome to the Assassin's Creed Lorecast. My name is Austin, also known as Teacup.
And my name is Shelby, also known as She-Cup.
Join us as we embark on unraveling all of your favorite mysteries from the Assassin's Creed universe. From assassins to Templars to the mysterious Isu and more. We will seek to uncover it all, so join us and maybe even take a leap of faith.
Hello and welcome to the Assassin's Creed Lorecast. I'm Shelby or She-Cup, and I'm one of your co-hosts for this show. And I'm super excited to be here today. And I'm joined with my co-host, and I'll let him introduce himself.
So I am Austin, also known as Teacup.
So we talked about Juno, and then we talked about the instruments of the first will over the past 2 weeks. So I'm just going to go ahead and guess that we're still talking about Isu, and maybe even a specific one of them.
That is correct. We are talking today about Minerva and Jupiter, the other members of the Capitoline Triad.
So Minerva is the Isu that we meet at the end of Assassin's Creed 2, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Interesting. I remember doing that. I was kind of thrown for a whole loop there in that quest at the end of that game.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting thing that happened there.
Okay, well, let's just jump on into the content unless you have any other questions for me.
Nope, not at this moment. All right, so Minerva is the first ever Isu that we ever encountered. As you said earlier, we do encounter her at the end of Assassin's Creed 2 in the vault underneath the Vatican. So Minerva's role was of the sacred voice of the Capitoline Triad. But she seemed higher up in she seems higher up in Isu kind of society because she's present for all these important moments. She's present for the assassination of Saturn, which we talked about in the Juno episode. And she seems to have this like more higher up relationship with humanity during all of this time. And she is one of the Isu that we see that seems to believe in humanity's potential, that seems to believe and view humanity in a more positive light. Some of the other Isu, Juno specifically, do not always view humanity in such a light. But Minerva seems to have a more positive relationship with humanity than other Isu.
I like to think of Minerva as the one Isu that actually likes humanity a little bit.
It kind of comes across that way. So despite her having a pretty prominent role and being one of the first Isu that we ever encounter, we don't know much about her, actually, of the outside of what we experience in the games. And so not much is known about her prior to the Isu human war. What we do know that she was accounted among those who thought that humanity would evolve one day to be counted as equals among the Isu. And this is a point she argues with Saturn and Juno, that humanity might even be evolve enough and be intelligent enough to be considered the Isu's equals. And then we first see mention of Minerva during the Isu human war, as she is among those who avoid fighting by working on the prevention of the solar flare, which we see in Assassin's Creed 3, and all of the things that they tried there. So, as we know, they don't prevent the Great Catastrophe. They don't have enough time to complete the things they were trying to do. However, because Minerva is in the Grand Temple at this time, she actually survives the solar flare and walks among the like 10,000 humans that survived. Is 10,000 a big enough number to sustain some form of repopulation?
I would guess so. Why wouldn't it be big enough?
I don't know. I'm assuming that there has to be a certain gene variety and like threshold of gene variety to sustain a kind of repopulation like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I just feel like all you need is, a handful of families and you're good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't really know. I'm not a geneticist or a scientist, so I don't.
Me neither.
If anyone who is listening could tell me the viability of what number we would need to like successfully repopulate the earth. But I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by repopulate. Are we trying to get back to 7 billion people, or are we trying to get back to enough to ensure a species survival? Like, I guess we could think about, do you know the number for like what number a species reaches when they go off endangered list?
No, I have no idea. I mean, I know nothing about any of that.
Well, if you are that, please let us know, because we are curious. So this is a fun little thing prior to when we see her in Assassin's Creed 2. During Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you can meet a woman posing as Athena or Minerva, who gives Cassandra/Alexios several tasks to complete to prove their wisdom. And later on, when you go into the simulations later of like the Atlantis storyline, there is a person you can encounter in Atlantis who thinks you're a follower of Minerva. So just little things here and there. So after that, Minerva kind of disappears from known history until she's encountered by Ezio in the Vatican vault. And so this is really interesting because in her speech, she says a couple notable things that I want to point out. She claims that the Isu are not gods and that they are simply the ones who came before. She asks for the apple so that they can give thanks, which she's the only one that kind of does that with any kind of piece of Eden. And then she also tells Desmond in the message to beware the cross, which we obviously can interpret as the Templars. Or you could interpret it to Daniel Cross.
You could. I hadn't even thought about that, honestly, and I just met him.
Yeah.
Or Jesus.
Yeah.
That was a
That's
joke.
Yeah, it seems unlikely, but yeah, or Jesus. So after that, we don't see Minerva again until AC3 when she appears at the very end. Well, her actual appearance and some of the flashbacks that Juno does, she can appear, but we don't see her in herself until the end of Assassin's Creed 3, where she appears to Desmond, begging him not to activate basically the towers that are going to save the Earth because it would free Juno. She shows Desmond the future that would happen if he follows her. And Desmond sees that and says, nah, we deserve to fight for ourselves. And he frees Juno, sacrificing himself. And that's really all we kind of get of Minerva. But she is this role of sacred voice and kind of in that Isu leadership. So before we take our break and we talk about just her in general, I do have some fun facts. So Minerva is one of the statues that can be collected around Monteriggioni in Assassin's Creed 2. So she's actually paired with Jupiter, and you can get that, and you get like 2,000 florins for doing that. In Assassin's Creed Renaissance novel, which is kind of the novelization of Assassin's Creed 2, Minerva appears with an owl on her shoulder, which is a common symbol of Athena and Minerva, the owl. And the owl is in our day, an owl is a symbol of wisdom. And in her speech, she makes no mention of Ezio being the prophet, which she does in the game.
Well, I guess this is less of an ask and more of a comment. So Athena is also the goddess of war and wisdom. And
Correct.
So I think it's really interesting that Minerva kind of occupies this peacemaking role between Juno and the rest of the Isu. Because Juno is the one that wants to attack humans and kill us all and enslave us all. And Minerva is the one that takes on that peacemaking role more than any other Isu we've seen. So I think it's interesting that she has this connection with literally the goddess of war.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is really, really interesting because of Ubisoft choosing to use Minerva and not Athena as her name. Because in Roman mythology, Minerva is just the goddess of wisdom.
Oh, okay. Interesting. But like they're still connected.
Yes. In fact, I'm going to go on in the Percy Jackson books, there's a big whole thing about their Roman personas, and that like Minerva is less of a goddess because they take away the war aspect. And like Minerva or Athena's war goddess is different than like Ares, god of war. Athena is like the god of like strategy and strategic thinking, all of that when it comes to war. The Romans kind of take that way and she gets diminished, and that's part of the beef between the Greek demigods and the Roman demigods.
Right. I will say, as a now Nashvilleian, Athena is important to us because we have a statue of her in our city.
Yes.
So I guess that we feel obligated to like her. I don't know.
Right. Also, this is another kind of anachronism that appears in the Animus. The statue you find around Monteriggioni is a more modern take than the time period. So it's like a statue from the like 1700s as opposed to the 14.
So
15.
Is the statue in Monteriggioni more like our statue in Nashville?
A little bit.
That's hilarious to me.
But I just think that's funny. That's this little like anachronism. Like, no, like Ezio wouldn't have had a statue like that because that style wasn't around.
Right. Sure. That's hilarious.
So yeah, that's all about Minerva.
Well, you ready to transition into our break?
Let's do it.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love, starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, "It's my classroom." You're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, "I'm the teacher's pet," even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Today's top story, the flavor merger of the century between the Peanut Butter Group and Chocolatey Corp. Joining me is a PBC executive.
Thanks for having me, Barry.
Now, how did you know the merger and the byproduct of it, Jif peanut butter and chocolate flavored spread, would be a success?
You know, it was a gut feeling, a rumbling, if you will. Besides, they're two titans of taste.
Very true. Goes great with pretzels.
And pancakes.
Apples too, I bet. Try Jif PBC today.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Ma cos'è? Shoot! Shoot the flying demon!
Malaka! Malaka! Malaka!
Even now, faced as I am with the truth of your cold words, I refuse, because I believe things can still change. I may never succeed. The assassins may struggle another 1,000 years in vain, but we will not stop.
All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is our Discord server. We have a Discord server based on all of our podcasts. It's where all of our podcasts, like, it's their home. So come join us, come hang out. I think we got like 150 members now, and it's a great time. So definitely come and join us so we can talk about all kinds of things, including Assassin's Creed and including real life too. So we also have a Patreon. We have a couple patrons and we're so thankful for them. Keith R is our mentor tier assassin patron and we're super thankful to him. And so you can come join us and become one of our patrons. You get early access to episodes, you get ad-free access to episodes, and at certain tiers you can even come on the show with us. So definitely make sure you join our Patreon. It's a lot of fun over there too. And then we have a review to read, but before I read the review, I just want to say we're trying to get to 50 reviews on Apple. We have 28 right now, so we need a lot more, but reviews really, really help us. It definitely tells people, hey, this is a great podcast to listen to, and that's super important for getting the show out there. So if you love our show, definitely give us a review if you can. So our review today that I have to read is from MK10 Gamer, and this is what he says. I started listening to the Assassin's Creed Lorecast as soon as I saw it in my Spotify recommended list. I fully enjoy listening to the episodes when I'm working, as I work nights. The Lorecast helps me stay awake with interesting topics and reigniting my Assassin's Creed passion. Teacup comes in with the lore perfectly, and Shecup asks the same questions that I had or have at the same time. And even if I have a question or a mini headcanon after the episode, all I have to do is jump in the Discord, and the Cups are very reachable and will answer any questions with beautiful insight and passion, both from an older Assassin's Creed player and a new player coming into the franchise. The Lorecast gives you the feel of a mentor teaching a new recruit the AC history. 100% recommend this podcast to all my friends and anyone who will listen. 5 out of 5 Hidden Blades. Thank you so much. That was such a nice review, and we're super thankful that you emailed us this review. So thank you. All right, Austin, I know you want me to talk about my playthrough right now too, before we go back to the show, right? So it's official. I finished the Ezio trilogy. I very much enjoyed the Ezio trilogy. I do still stand by that Brotherhood is my favorite. That is Ezio's most fine, in my opinion. So I loved the trilogy. 2, I think, is probably my least favorite of the 3. Not that I didn't like it. I loved it. But I liked Brotherhood and Revelations. I think just a little bit more than 2. But all 3 were excellent games. So now I've moved on to Assassin's Creed 3. I will also play Liberation, but I started with 3. I am like halfway into the game. There's 12 sequences. I'm in sequence 6, and I just got out of the tutorial. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. But so I am playing as Connor. I've done all the Hatham stuff. I loved Zio. Who else did I love? I do love Achilles. He's great. He's great. So I'm really enjoying it so far. The scenery is beautiful. Hunting is fun. I like that. I think I'm really gonna like the homestead stuff.
So I do have some thoughts. One, I just want everyone to know that all of the people that she liked, I totally called. 100% knew that those are the people that she was going to like. And I just want everyone to know that I was right. But I'm really excited to keep playing 3. And I think it'll be a good time.
Speaking of you being right, I don't hate them. Like,
yeah, I didn't think you would. I thought you would hate Charles Lee.
He's not that bad until he punches Connor. Like, I didn't hate him in the first few opening sequences. I was kind of like, okay, so he's just a sidekick right now. And then he comes in with the big racist guns. Like, what? Where did that come from?
Punches an actual child.
Not even just punches the child, like puts him in a chokehold, is strangling a child. Like, that's more than just simple assault. That's like, okay, you're fixing to murder a child. To be fair, Connor doesn't look like he's 4 years old in that, which we've already established, but I was shook.
Right. All right. Well, that's all I really got about your playthrough. I'm excited for you to keep going.
Well, me too, but let's get back to the show.
As a sports fan, I have to confess. Sometimes the game gets kind of boring. That's when I unfold my Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 and use multi-window viewing on its large screen. Boring game? I'm checking out my fantasy baseball league at the same time. Score still 1-0? I'm replying to emails in the other window, scoring points with the boss. Semifinals finally getting exciting? I'm buying tickets to the finals and booking my flights. Can your phone do that?
The new Galaxy Z Fold 7. Get yours at Samsung.com.
Gatorade is the #1 proven electrolyte blend designed to hydrate better than water. So you can lose more sweat and raise your game. Gatorade, is it in you?
Want to live better? We got a lot of work to do. Join Chris Hemsworth in National Geographic's new Disney Plus original series, Limitless. Live better now.
I'm diving headfirst into cutting-edge science to uncover 3 powerful secrets to living better right now. The growth that occurs through any challenging experience is really what we seek.
Chris Hemsworth stars in Limitless. Live better now. Now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
It's showtime.
And I know I was really nice to you, but actually I'm just another Templar plot twist. And yes, I would like very much for you to be controlled by a magic space wizard so that you can murder me.
Requiescat in pace. I am not a father anymore. I am not a husband. I am not a Magi. I am a hidden one.
Yes. We are the hidden ones.
All right, so we talked about Minerva, and now we're going to go to the last member of the Capitoline Triad, which is Jupiter. So Jupiter we know even less about him than we do Minerva, but we do know something thanks to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So there are a little bit of spoilers for the storyline of that game. Sorry, Shelby. But if you're a listener and you don't want spoilers, this is your warning now. So Jupiter is the father of understanding for the Capitoline Triad. And so he's kind of the big dog. He's the leader. He is just in charge, it seems like, for that. So this is a little interesting little fun facts that I saw. So Jupiter was considered the golden child of the Isu. And like in Greek mythology and Roman mythology, he shared hostile relationships with his brothers Poseidon and Hades. These relationships were so bad that after one such meeting, Poseidon was so angry at them that he outlawed any mention of them, of Jupiter and Hades, in Atlantis. Like, you couldn't even talk about them.
Yikes. What did he do?
I have no idea.
Wow. I mean, to be fair to Zeus, it also could be an overreaction.
Right. But it's also Zeus. So that's all we really know about Jupiter, like pre-Isu, human civil war, because we don't know a lot about them at the time. And so these are some interesting kind of facts that I learned about Jupiter in my research that I thought were really interesting. So it is Jupiter who decides that the Triad, instead of fighting in the war, is going to go and research this solar flare instead, which seems, what we know of like Zeus from Greek mythology and even Roman mythology seems very like out of character.
Yeah, like Zeus isn't one to be self-sacrificial.
No. And he's known to be hot-headed and you pissed me off, so I'm gonna zap you with lightning. All right, so at some point, Aletheia, another Isu that we'll talk about later down the road, comes to Jupiter and the rest of the Triad to propose the seventh method of salvation. Now, we've talked about the seven method of salvation. This is the creation of the Isu sage. Now, it's important to note at this point that there were 6 methods tried by the Triad in the Grand Temple. None of them yielded results. This is the 7th method. This is the creation of the Isu sage. We do this in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we as Odin go in and try to steal this 7th method. It is very similar to, I believe it's like the 4th or 5th method they tried, which is when Aida, Juno's husband, becomes comatose and she's forced to euthanize him. So Jupiter and Minerva are very, very concerned about this 7th method of salvation and how it would dilute and corrupt the human genome. Because basically what it has is it goes in and rewrites human DNA to basically cause a cycle of reincarnation for Isu. And that's part of like the personality thing that's going on there. And we'll talk about this when we talk about sages. But there's personality conflict in that, like, for example, with Eivor, like Eivor and Odin are both fighting for control of Eivor's body because there is a human personality and an Isu consciousness that are both residing in this individual. So Minerva and Jupiter are very concerned about it.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like when in Dragon Age 2, if anyone knows about Dragon Age, it's almost like when Anders is possessed by Justice.
Very, very similar, but it could also, honestly, it could be very much like what we could view Synthesis like in the Mass Effect universe, the Synthesis ending. And so they basically abandon it. They lock it away. They say, this isn't good. We don't want this to happen. At some point, Sittrigger is his Norse name, Jupiter's name. And in part of the Assassin's Creed storyline that deals with Odin, you go to him and he's gifted this cauldron that ever fills with mead. And it's stolen and lost, and you as Odin are tasked to go track it down. You track it down, and so Jupiter basically is like, okay, we're going to throw a feast now because we have this cauldron that is full of mead, naturally.
That's fun. So, is that in one of the festival DLCs?
No.
So is that based? Oh, that's really fun.
And so while at this party, Odin uses it as an opportunity to sneak into his storehouse with the help of Juno to steal the 7th method of salvation. Jupiter kind of finds out about this and he confronts Odin outside the entrance to the Grand Temple, and they have a huge fight. Odin is victorious, and Jupiter is basically like, you're going to fall anyways because you're arrogant and stupid, and you're Odin, and I hate you. And so, and then as a result, Jupiter and Minerva strip Juno of her Mother of Wisdom title.
So this happens. We see this in Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Correct.
But it doesn't happen in the timeline of Eivor.
No. So this is a little spoilerly, but basically what happens is you have a seer at your encampment. And so that seer realizes that Eivor is having visions of Odin. And so she makes you drink like a mushroom concoction, like the Norse practices would be to commune with the gods. And you experience these visions of both Asgard, Jotunheim, and that's how so you're like looking back, and it's at the time of Ragnarok. So it's everything leading up to this solar flare.
So is Ragnarok the solar flare?
Yes.
Okay. I will stop asking questions because I'm feeling like all of my questions that I have right now on this topic will be answered when I play Valhalla.
Yes, they will. Well, and then you'll get more questions.
But then by that point, Mirage will be out and they'll all get answered.
Probably not, but yeah.
I can hope and dream, okay?
You can. I believe in you. So after the disaster, Jupiter is also among those who live alongside humanity. We first see Jupiter in AC Revelation in Altair's vault under Masyaf. He refers to Desmond as the Cipher, though no one else ever does, and we're never explained why he's a Cipher.
Interesting. Well, I just did this recently, and it was really funny to me because while you're playing as Ezio, who's playing as Altair, but really you're Desmond, right? So like you're 3 levels in, and then Desmond is just like, wait, what? It's really funny.
Yes. So interesting enough, Jupiter only appears in Minerva or in Juno's kind of flashbacks. He doesn't appear to Desmond in the Grand Temple. Jupiter is also among the statues that you can collect at Monterey Joni. Jupiter's helmet resembles an eagle, which is his traditional symbol as Zeus or Jupiter, and it's also the symbol of the assassins. In the Revelations novel, Jupiter refers to Juno and Minerva as his sisters, which is interesting because in Greek mythology, in Greek and Roman mythology, Minerva / Athena is his daughter, and Juno / Hera is his sister wife.
I mean, sure, that's interesting, but also like the gods all marry each other anyway. Hera's the sibling of Zeus, right? So, they're Targaryens. It doesn't matter.
Okay, they're Targaryens. Oh, there's our Game of Thrones reference.
You guys, House of the Dragon is on right now. So, well, I guess it just finished. But it's, it's just where we're at in the cultural moment. Let me make my Targaryen references.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got for Juno or Minerva and Jupiter.
That's interesting. So I need to read these novels and we need to watch the movies that I couldn't watch until after I finished the Ezio trilogy. Because you mentioned like 3 novels in this episode, and I'm just kind of like, okay, but now I need to read all of them.
Yeah. Well, this is happening. I'm pretty sure that both Renaissance and the Revelation novel are available via the library.
Via the library or via our library?
Our library.
Awesome. Cool. I think the thing that's most interesting to me about this topic is that Jupiter is supposed to be like the big dog, right? Like he's the father of understanding, but we know the least about him. And I think I said in the last episode or maybe 2 episodes ago about how the Templars really just kind of replaced Jupiter and like took his title for themselves because they want to ascend to godhood almost. And I feel like that is not clearer than in this episode when you're like, we don't know very much about Jupiter, and it feels almost, I don't want to say orchestrated, but that is kind of how it feels.
Yeah. I think that part of it is that for the like games after AC3, they really wanted to focus on Juno and paint her as like this Isu big bad and move the story along, but they didn't. They kind of stopped that, and so now they're going back and adding more information about the Isu. So I think part of it is that like Ubisoft originally intended probably to talk more about Jupiter and the Isu, but there's so much focused on Juno in the past like timeline in the past games that now they're having to go back and kind of piece that together. So he's very important, but we don't know a lot about him. And I think that with the Templars, at least in their like agitation of the father of understanding, I think that has a lot to do with the Templars like to place themselves in power. And if we talk about our power dynamics in our world, then placing this father puts them in a better position of power because men have better positions of power.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that at all.
That's just my take on the whole thing. But I do think that it's interesting that Minerva and Juno are very much similar to their actual Roman and Greek counterparts. Like Hera is not the biggest fan of humanity. And that's kind of an understatement in itself. And like it's with Hera, it's less about humanity and it's more about demigods. She really hates demigods.
It's not even about demigods, though. It's about Zeus.
Yes. I think she actually hates Zeus.
I agree. Why are they married?
I don't know. Because she's the goddess of marriage, so she has to be faithful to her man.
I suppose. But let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah. But my point is that Jupiter and what we know is, I think, in a lot of ways not like his Greek and Roman counterpart. Like, he's not really this hot-headed, reactionary, all about himself individual that Zeus and Jupiter can tend to be. But this Jupiter is more calm, and I would view more as a leader than Zeus from Greek mythology.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, well, let's wrap it up then. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Assassin's Creed Lorecast. We had a lot of fun today, and next week we'll be back with some more Isu, so thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Assassin's Creed Lorecast. You can find us on Twitter at Assassin's Creed Lorecast, or you could talk to us on Discord in the Robots Radio Discord or our personal Discord server, both links found in this episode's descriptions. Thank you for listening, and always stay to the shadows to serve the light, Assassins.
This episode is brought to you by FX's Alien Earth, the official podcast. Each week, host Adam Rogers is joined by guests, including the show's creator, cast, and crew, in this exclusive companion podcast. They will explore story elements, deep dive into character motivations, and offer an episode-by-episode behind-the-scenes breakdown of each terrifying chapter in this new series. Search FX's Alien Earth wherever you listen to podcasts.
When a wasteland detective and a vault girl cross paths, no criminal is safe.
You're both under arrest.
Don't move a muscle if you know what's good for you.
Based in Bethesda's Fallout series, follow Walter and Bunny as they traverse the Texas Commonwealth and New Vegas, busting big crime rings.
We'll need all we can to expand into Vegas territory.
And surviving anything the wasteland can throw at them.
It's him! It's the Mothman!
Featuring a series of nail-biting narratives and guest stars from across the Fallout community. It's anybody's guess what thrilling case is up next.
War never changes, does it, Bunny?
No, it certainly does not.
True Vault Escapades, a Fallout audio drama. Available anywhere you get podcasts.